Quiet harbor in rural England, July 1944.
Dear Howard, we're back in Homeport now for our first real rest since D-Day, the day that saw the beginning of the greatest crusade in history, the freeing of an enslaved Europe. And thousands of young Americans helped open that road to liberation. Every hour more are returning from the Normandy beachhead. Many of them on stretchers. Some are shipmates of the Coast Guardsmen in this barracks. It's hard to forget that. It's even harder to forget the others who will never come back to us. Only 3 weeks ago, we were all here together, working and waiting. It seems almost like yesterday. If only you could have seen this harbor then, the ugly, flat-bottomed LCIs. The smaller craft always on the go. The snub-nosed LCVPs that would spearhead the coming invasion. The fast Coast Guard rescue cutters that later were to save so many lives. Hundreds of ships and landing craft, each with its specific job. You remember young Bill Jackson, who sang in your boys' choir? He was serving aboard the rescue cutter Flying Angel. For months, Bill and the others were put through invasion maneuvers. They called them dry runs, and other terms not in our vocabulary. By now, the GIs were resigned to these seagoing excursions and convinced they had joined the Marines. Our men began to feel they were running a water taxi service. They kept hoping each dry run might turn out to be more than just another rehearsal. Whenever the flotilla lost sight of land, you could feel the growing tension aboard ship. But always the objective turned out to be another section of the English coast. Our boys would go through the same never-changing procedure. Get the infantry aboard the landing craft, and then head in fast for the beaches. Soldiers and sailors all thought they were pretty good by now. They were, except for a few minor kinks. And so it went, until they had established another beachhead in England. But it was the aftermath of every maneuver that really got our Coast Guardsmen down. Maintenance to them was just more monotonous routine. Get everything ship-shape so it could be all fouled up in the next dry run. Sometimes, if the lads were lucky, liberty ashore met a date. They were lonely for the long-remembered friendships of home. It helped, even for a little while, to get away from the ships and the maneuvers and the war they felt they weren't fighting. But their hours ashore ended all too quickly. Another day, And once again, the harbor swarmed with men and ships. Once again, everything was being made ready for the order to up anchor. The LCVPs ferried the troops out to the waiting transports. LCIs took on more infantry, engineers, and medical corpsmen. Every man had done it all 100 times before. Every ship and landing craft fitted into the operation like the parts of a jigsaw puzzle. A puzzle that always worked out in the same meaningless pattern. And then it happened. Attention, men, attention! From General Eisenhower to all soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. Good luck. That changed everything. Now the boys knew this wasn't just another war game. This time they would be playing for keeps. Floating piers of concrete and steel to be used in the construction of our invasion harbors were towed across the channel. When we headed out this time, many of us wondered when we'd see the cliffs of England again. Hour after hour, our passing bomber fleets filled the Channel skies. The men were quiet now, each alone with his thoughts and fears. We spotted a lone enemy observation plane. Our anti-aircraft guns went into action. The enemy might suspect our coming. But when we would strike and where was a secret we meant to keep. All that day, following a zigzag course, we moved steadily and stealthily toward our appointed rendezvous off the coast of France. With the coming of sunset, all chaplains held services on deck. We were in God's hands now, And every man, no matter what his faith, sought strength and solace in prayer.